Holy cow. What the hell? It's not a nail and it's not a screw. What's going on, guys? I actually dread, and I'm not kidding you, I actually dread to make a video like this, not necessarily in my own garage, but I really would dread making this type of video if I'm out in the middle of nowhere, hundreds of miles away from home, hundreds of miles away from help. I would really dread making this video, but not so much in a garage. But what happened is, these are, if you guys are new to this channel, this is my 2022 Road Glide Performance Bagger. I just got a brand new set of BST carbon wheels on it, brand new Lindell brake rotors, and a set of brand new Metzler Cruise Tech tires. We had a club event this weekend that I went to and just basically went there and rode the bike back. And when I actually pushed the bike in a couple days ago, I haven't ridden it since, it felt like super, super hard. I'm like, literally, what the hell is going on? Am I like just like weak today? Like I couldn't literally roll the bike back into my garage, and normally it's super easy, but I didn't put two and two together. So anyway, long story short, I rolled the bike back in, and then yesterday, as I'm in my office looking at the bike, I see that the bike is just sitting, something was off. Like I know my bike, right? I'm always looking at it, eyeing it up, so I know if something is off. So I was looking at the tire and I'm like, the bike is kind of sitting a little low, the tires looks a little collapsed, and I didn't want to do anything last night. I go into the garage this morning and basically look at the tire really good, and I'm like, there's something wrong. So I get my tire pressure gauge. I read the front tire pressure, it's at about 36. I'm definitely gonna put a little more into it. And I read the back and it's at 0. So now I'm like, now I know why it was so hard to roll the bike back, because the tire's flat. And now the issue is, what is wrong? Is there a nail or a screw in the tire, or is the wheel cracked? Which I really, really didn't think that was the case. 99%, I was looking for a nail or a screw in the tire. So I got my Let's Roll jack, lifted the bike up, started spinning the tire, and lo and behold, there is a piece of metal in my brand new Metzler Cruise Tech tire, rear tire, that, I don't know, I rode it back from Get Lowered, and then I probably have literally like 150 miles on a tire. I have not gotten a nail, a screw, anything in the previous set of tires, 12,000 miles, in the entire 26,000 miles I had on Silverback, and even the previous bike. Like, I've been really lucky. You know, cross-country trips to Sturgis and Florida several times, Laconia several times. Never once did I get a nail, a screw, anything in the tire. So been really lucky. But when we were out in Sturgis, actually my friend Glenn, we had to repair his tire at a gas station. Luckily we were close to a gas station, but it really didn't matter because I had the proper tools with me. We actually repaired his tire. He had I believe it was a nail in his tire. And we were, I don't know, 1,600, 1,400 miles from home. So anyway, what I'm trying to tell you guys is, I have to fix my tire, and I always wanted to bring this video to you guys because I want people to know how to do it. Because if this happens to you, say you're 200, 300, 400 miles away from anything, and it can happen if you're riding definitely, you know, north here by us in the Northeast, or if you're riding somewhere in the Midwest or Pacific Northwest, you could be in some areas where you're literally 100 miles from nowhere. So if you were to get a nail or a screw in your tire, you're gonna have to like literally call a tow truck. It would be a very expensive adventure for you, and it would be definitely a bad day. So I'm actually going to show you how to fix a tire on a motorcycle. And I know a lot of people say, oh, you know, you really can't plug it, you should get a new tire. That's a bunch of baloney. I'm going to show you two kits that I use, one for cars, one for motorcycles. I have plugged a lot of tires, and like I said, we even plugged Glenn's tire. We rode 14, 15, 1,600 miles back home. no issues. It's not a problem. They work really well and they hold as long as you do it correctly. So that's what I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna show you guys what exactly I use, what I always carry in my bags, because if you carry these 3 essential items in your bags, it really doesn't matter where you are. You could get off the bike, fix your bike, and be back on a road literally in 30 minutes, okay? So first I'm gonna take the camera off, show you the culprit that we have in the tire, and then we'll show you how to fix it. And like I said, I rolled the tire, and right there is the piece of metal. If you could see it, it's actually right in between the tread. Look at that. So I don't know what it is now. We're gonna have to pull it out and see, which I'll show you guys. Then I'll show you guys how to fix it. So this kit, I'm not actually sure who makes it. The sticker's not on here, but this is a fantastic kit that I keep in my car, in my garage at all times. This is for a car, and trust me, I have 4 kids. If you have kids, you will need this. And if they didn't start driving yet, I'm telling you right now, invest in one of these things, because I think I've already put in 2 or 3 plugs in each one of my kids' car tires. You know, because you have to understand, if you want to minimize a nail or a screw in your tire, don't ever ride in the shoulder or on the side of the road. That's where all the garbage goes. So just try to stay in the middle of the road, be patient. A lot of times if there's a car trying to turn and you're impatient and you try to go around it, and there you go, your right side tires go into the side, into the shoulder, or into just the side of the road. That's where all the crap goes. That's where all the debris goes, nails, screws, all that garbage. And there's a high chance that you could get a nail or a screw in a tire. So anyway, this is the kit that I use. And these plugs right here, they're very super strong. It's not just like a rubber plug. There's actually like threads, I guess nylon threads in these plugs. That's what I recommend you using. So you have basically like a lubricant right here that you use. You have a ream tool, and then you have actually the tool that is used to put the plug in the tire with a knife. I'm gonna show you guys the whole process, but I'm actually gonna use the tools that I have on my bike, so this way you can see exactly how it's done. But this is for a car. I would recommend this. I'm gonna leave the links down below because I've already did some videos on this, but I actually never had to fix a tire. These couple items that I always carry in my bags, I'm telling you guys, it's essential. If you don't have it, you're gonna be calling a tow truck, you're gonna be spending thousands of dollars, you're gonna be stuck on a side of the road kicking yourself in the ass. So I'm not even kidding. Even if you're around town, if you're 20, 30 miles away from something, if you don't have a trailer, if you don't have a means to get the bike to a shop, it's gonna cost you a lot of money and it's gonna ruin your day. Like, this will literally save your day. So the first thing that you're gonna need, you don't necessarily have to have these items, but I'm gonna leave links down below in the description because these items work for me. So I like to carry a Gerbing multi-tool. It's got a knife, it's got a pair of pliers, and I'll show you exactly, like, I'm gonna use these tools, so if you do purchase these items, you'll know exactly what to do. So you're gonna need a multi-tool, and then what I use is the Slime motorcycle tool repair kit. So inside the repair kit, you're gonna have the tire plug install tool. This is another thing I keep in here. This is a bunch of spare fuses and a fuse puller. That is a must. I would keep that inside. And now these are the plugs that come with the kit right there. And then also I have 3 air canisters and then the ream tool. And I'm gonna, like I said, we're gonna go over everything. I have more spare fuses. This pouch I carry with me all of the time. So there's actually 3 air canisters in this toolkit, and then there's also the valve for the air canisters. And I think that's it. All right, so now I'm gonna take you guys off of the tripod. I'm gonna put you guys lower, shine a light over here. We're gonna fix this tire. You know, so this way, hopefully this will help you guys, because I'm telling you, I could just imagine like being somewhere out in the middle of nowhere, Montana, Wyoming, South Dakota, and especially if you're by yourself. Like, what if you don't have cell phone service? Like, it could get pretty bad, pretty ugly really quick. Okay, so let me go get my glasses. So it happens when you get into the 50-year-old range. All right, so you're gonna get your multi-tool. What I like to do is I like to put a circle around it, because if you take this out and there is no air in the tire, you're gonna lose that hole. You're gonna have a problem. Then you're gonna have to start spitting everywhere, and then you're gonna get dehydrated and probably pass out and wind up getting yourself killed on the side of the road. So make sure you mark it. Or if you do still have air in the tire, make sure you have the plug already installed in the plug tool. So this way, as soon as you take this out, you could start reaming out that hole and you could put the plug in. Otherwise, I don't have any air in the tire, so I'm home. I marked a circle around it, so this way I will not lose it. Yep, I can hear the air coming out, so I know that's the son of a gun right there. Yeah, and by the way, I mean, yeah, this does piss me off, but what are you gonna do? You hear it? Oh, wow. Whatever it is, it's pretty big. Try to see, make sure the angle that, holy cow. What the hell? It's not a nail and it's not a screw. It's a damn drill bit. Look at that. Let me see. Can you see that? It's a freaking drill bit. It didn't even go in the side of the cutting side. It went in on the shank side. Look at that. So you see what I mean? It doesn't have to be sharp. With all this weight on that tire, it's gonna push this right in. That's crazy. This is a first for me. Okay, so I know where it is. So now what we're gonna do is, this is the ream tool that comes in the kit. This is made so this way we could get a perfect like kind of round hole. We could kind of burr the edges so there's a good seal for the plug, and just clean that opening out. I'm actually going to lower the bike a little bit so there's some pressure on that rear wheel so it don't start moving. I'm going to tell you now that you're going to need a lot of pressure to get this tool through. It's going to take you some time, but it's got to be done the right way. But you will not be stranded. I can tell you that right now. All right, now, whew, and I'm serious. You're gonna have to use not some elbow grease, but a bunch of elbow grease to do this, especially if something smaller than this, as far as diameter wise, goes into your tire, it's gonna be that much harder. But you could see that it's all the way in. And what I do is I just twist it in. You hear now the air is coming out better. And then I'm gonna go back in with it. A lot of debris actually came out of that hole. And now, the more you do it, the easier it's going to be to pull in and out. If you still have air in your tire, you don't have anything to mark the hole with, if you're on the side of a road, I highly recommend doing this, pulling the nail or screw out, immediately put this ream tool inside the hole and start your cleaning process, okay? And then leave this tool in the hole, and in the meantime, start getting your plug ready, which is right here. I'm gonna put it, so this is the plug, okay? You guys could see that. And this is the plug tool. There's, at the end here, there's a split. So I'll kind of, you gotta squeeze the tip a little bit. Once you get it through a little bit, okay. So now once you get it through a little bit, you could grab your pliers, pull it through about halfway. So the idea, the principle of this is we're gonna bend this back like this. At the end here, there's a split. I don't know if you guys see it in the tool. So it's gonna be like this. It's gonna go through the hole, and then when this goes into the tire, that's gonna open up like that. And then when you pull this plug back out, it's going to pull that plug like that. And then when the friction gets too hard, that split in the tool is going to let the plug go. Then you're gonna have a little piece of plug left over, which I'll show you. We're gonna cut that off. All right, so I'm gonna clean this out. The better you clean this and make it round, the better. I would take some time and just clean it because we're almost there. And you know you're gonna be back on the road soon. You know what I mean? Then you could just like run it in and out a little bit, like that. And when you could push this tool in and out like that, you're good to go. So now I'm gonna pull this tool out, and now I'm gonna put this tool in where the hole is. Now this is where it gets hard. So what I do is, as I'm pushing in, I'm going to be applying pressure and twisting that plug in. Okay, so now you guys could see that the plug is in, okay? You don't want to push it in all the way because then you're going to have a problem, because then you're going to have to start over and that plug is going to be inside of the tire. So you have to just make sure, I like to leave like 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch of the plug sticking out, and then all you do is pull that out. Okay? Whoo-wee. Boys, make sure if you didn't hit the gym in the past couple months, make sure you hit the gym, because I'm telling you now, it definitely takes some a bunch of elbow grease to do this, and I'm not kidding. That's why make sure you ream the hole out. Before you put that plug in, make sure you ream that hole out very, very well. So now what I'm gonna do is, I do not need the pliers anymore, and that's why I recommend a multi-tool. So now I get the knife out, and what you wanna do, this is very important, you wanna make sure that you cut that plug as flush to the tire as possible. I'm gonna tell you why in a second. That's fine. If you leave too much of this plug sticking out, upon braking hard or upon hard acceleration, when that plug hits the pavement and your tire's spinning, it can pull that plug out, and it probably will. So I would just recommend for the next 50 miles, maybe not even, but I'd say 25 to 50 miles, ride normal until that plug kind of wears in and pushes in. Even if it's here on the tire somewhere where the tread is, it's going to wear flat, and then you won't have any problems. But if it's sticking out too much, you definitely will have a problem. I'm going to actually cut this a little more. You guys could see that there's just a little bit hanging out, which I don't like. And that's it. So now I'm going to show you what we're going to do now. I'm going to put you guys over here. I'm going to start my compressor up, my shop compressor, and we're going to fill the tire up. So now the third item in this toolkit that I have always in my bag is this mini air pump. I did some videos about it. Lifesaver. Even if you don't have a flat, a nail, or a screw in your tire and you don't have to fix your tire. What if your tire is just low? You lost some air, whatever. Sometimes it happens. Definitely have an air pump, because obviously if you don't have this third piece of the puzzle, none of the other items are any good. So again, I'm going to leave a link down below. I don't want to go over exactly what this is because I've done it in some previous videos, but I will leave a link to all these products down below. Highly recommend you have it, but in this little mini air pump, if you pull this out right here, that's the air line, which just screws right into the top of the pump. So now we're gonna turn it on. This is another great thing about this air pump. I charged this air pump 3 months ago. It's still full. So you see that bottom number? That bottom number says 38 PSI. That is the set pressure. That's what I have it set to. The top is the current air pressure in your wheel. Once I screw this on, and another great thing is this end screws on to your valve stem. It will not come off. Once you screw that on, it's going to read your tire pressure. I have 0 obviously in mine, but when I turn this pump on, it is not going to stop until it's 38 PSI. So you could pretty much walk away from this pump. So now I'm going to go to the other side of the bike, and I want to use this pump because I want to give you kind of a real world scenario, real world situation. Okay, where are we? I got to lift the bike up again to get the valve stem. Hang on a second. Okay, so now you're not going to be able to obviously spin the tire if you're out in the world, but you're going to have to just move the bike forward and aft. So now all I'm going to do, hopefully you guys could see this, I'm going to screw the end of the pump directly to the valve stem. All right, like so, and then we're going to click it on, and that's it. It's on, and watch the top pressure climb. It's going to stop once we hit 38 PSI. Okay, so as you guys can see, I'm telling you, man, it stopped at 37, which is absolutely fine. Doesn't matter. But let me show you guys. I'm gonna take off the pump now, and I'm gonna show you guys what we do next. So I'm gonna spin the tire back to where the plug was installed, which is right there. And I actually have a soapy water solution. Let me shine a light for you guys. Obviously, you don't need to do this in the field. I'm just checking, I'm home. But there is no air coming out of it. So what I'm gonna do now, I've already charged up my shop air compressor, and I checked my front tire. I had to actually put about 3 PSI in the front. If you guys ask me what I keep my tires at, I keep them both front and back at 39 PSI. Some people say 40-40, some people say 40 in the front, 39 in the back, or vice versa, but just keep it simple. I keep it the same. Let me back this up so if you could see the gauge, it's at 36. So I'm gonna put a little bit more in there to 39, right there at 39.2, and I'm gonna put the cap back on. And to finish out this video, I'm going to come back. It's about 8:30 a.m. in the morning. I'm going to come back. I'm going to be posting this video for you guys today, but I'm going to come back probably about 4 p.m., put this gauge back on and show you guys that it did not lose any air pressure. All right, guys, so I just wanted to go over it again. If you do not want to get stranded, definitely I highly recommend having the multi-tool, having the tire repair kit, and having that air pump, because I'm telling you guys, it's going to save your day. It could save your trip, like especially if you're out with the guys, out with the boys. You took a week's worth of vacation, your hard-earned vacation. That's probably like the worst that could happen. You know, you take a week after busting your butt all year long, you take that week vacation, you want to go out with the boys for a beautiful trip for a week, and then something like this happens, it could literally ruin your week. Not only that, like I'm in the garage, so think about it. If I can't fix that tire myself, what do I have to do? I either have to call the dealer for them to come pick up the bike, right? If you don't have a lift, if you don't know how to take the back wheel off the bike, which you guys should know. Like if you guys have a motorcycle, and I'm talking motorcycles in general, it's not just Harley Davidson. If you have a motorcycle, you should start working on it a little bit yourself. Like little things like taking the brake calipers off, changing the pads out, taking the front and rear wheel off. You should, even if you don't need to, if you have time over the winter, you should practice these little things, because if it does ever happen to you in a real world situation, you're gonna know what to do. But if you've never done it, then again, you're gonna be spending that money. You're gonna have a bad day, a bad couple days possibly. Because like I said, like even me now, if I can't repair this tire myself, I have to raise this bike as high as possible, take the bags off, take that rear wheel off. It's a pain in the neck trying to maneuver it out from underneath the fender, and then take it to the shop and get it repaired. So it's all in all, whether you're at your house, whether you're stranded somewhere in the middle of nowhere, it's great to be able to know how to fix your tire by yourself. Not only that, make sure you guys keep a bunch of spare fuses. So I have like my heated gear harness. I have my USB harness on there, which I have fuses for, because they do blow if they draw too much, if your jacket draws too much, or even if a little water gets in the connection, it could blow your fuse. I even have some of the tiny fuses right there that go into the side panel, into the fuse box. So, and they control a whole smorgasbord of different things on your motorcycle that if it blows, it could leave you stranded. So like those few little items is literally a matter of having a good day or having a bad day. All right, guys, back in the garage about 6-7 hours later, and I'm gonna go back to the tire, take off this valve stem cap. You always wanna make sure that you have some good caps on there and make sure they're on tight. So I'm gonna put this on now. And if you guys, I don't know if you guys could see, but it's 38.9. It's going up and down from 38.6 to 38.9. And I think it was 39.2. But you know, when you take this tool off, always a little bit of air comes out. But you guys get my point. We are good to go. All right, guys, so that's it for this video. I hope you guys learned something. I really didn't want to do it on my own tire, but I'm actually happy. I'm truly happy that I could show you guys exactly how to repair your tire in an emergency, at home, whatever. And I'm telling you, the plug, I'm not going to be replacing my tire. That plug is in there for the life of the tire. It's going to hold for the life of the tire. I never had an issue with a plug. As long as it is done correctly, like I showed you guys, you shouldn't have any problem. All right, guys, so if this video brought you guys some value today, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. We'll see you guys on the next one. I'm gonna be taking Mad Max up north into the cold for a nice road trip. See you guys later. Peace out.